Okay. I don't usually make a video or comment on material that people send me unsolicited for free, etc. People send me letters for OET and essays all the time, somehow expecting me to freely spend my time and correct them and grade them, etc. However, I'll make an exception for this one. I was impressed with the poster, and it's not that I don't want to help, or that that I really don't want to. It's just that it's like, for example, I had a lesson with a student. I gave her some advice, which she paid for. Then she sent me an essay expecting me to mark it and correct it for free. Then somebody else, I don't even know who this person is, they've sent me 3 OET letters this week with nothing in the mail saying, "Oh, Kevin, can you have a look at this, blah, blah, blah." They've just sent me 3 letters in the mail. Presumably, they want me to correct them and assess them, but that's not happening. And other people too. So I don't usually do it, but I thought I'd make an exception. Now, the first things first, there's quite a few things which I have to say about this essay. If I can write it in the right direction, then I will do so. So first things first, it's too long. 369 words, way too long. Don't need it. If you look at this paragraph 2 here, that looks way too long. What is this? 160 words in a single paragraph. No. Now, the danger of writing too much is, it's twofold. One is that you may go off topic, as this one does, and we'll talk about that in a second. The second one is, the more that you write, the more mistakes you might make. And, well, that is a third. So I should have said threefold. You need to be able to write this in 30 minutes, because you need to plan for at least 5 minutes, analyse the question, make a plan, etc. Then you need at least 2 or 3 minutes at the end to check your spelling, punctuation, etc. for both task 1 and 2. So writing, and you only need, most good essays come in about 290 to 300 words. Then you can properly develop your main ideas and arguments. So you don't need 369 words. You don't have time to write 369 words. If you do write too much, again, there's a danger you'll go off topic and you'll make more mistakes. So now, first things first, let's have a look at the question. Let me get my mouse here and make sure I've got some changes on here. I'll post this. Okay. The role of education to prepare children for the modern world. Okay. Schools should cut art and music. So what this essentially is, what should be taught at school? What subject should be taught to children at school? Now, that's your focus, right? Anything that departs from this is irrelevant and should not be included because it's off topic. Okay, now that's just to make things pretty clear right from the start. Now, sentence 1 is usually the background or the context. It's not really the question. The question is, do you agree that schools should not teach art and music? Instead, they should focus on things such as IT. Do you agree or disagree with that? And that's it. Okay. It is an indispensable fact. Well, it's not. Do you mean indisputable facts? Because that's not the same meaning at all. That, and why do we have a comma? And why do we have a capital? And why don't we have an article? So we've got 2 missing articles and incorrect word choice in the opening sentence. Well, no, in the first opening clause of the essay, so it's not getting off to a very auspicious start. It is an indispensable fact that in the contemporary world studies. So again, why is it capitalized? Why are there capitals everywhere? It's not a name. It's not a proper noun. Studies, what does that mean? That's not the same as education. Have been playing in a significant role in preparing children for, okay, well that's kind of a paraphrase, it's not a very good one. Educational, right. Educational institutes, you mean schools, because not every educational institute is a school. It's specifically children and schools. Okay. Schools should abandon art and music, thereby pupils could or can concentrate on essential subjects like IT. Firmly disagrees. Now, in the following essay, I shall demonstrate supporting arguments. This sentence is meaningless. You want to avoid these empty sentences. It doesn't tell me anything. What you should do, you need to restate the topic in sentence 1. Sentence 2, clear opinion, or, and give some outline. So, this essay firmly disagrees with the notion as school is not just about finding a job, or as music and art are vital life lessons for young people, etc. Something such as that. Okay, so this is an empty sentence. It's a waste of a sentence. To commence with. To commence with, what you mean, firstly, you don't even need this. So, and also we've got if. So if you're using if, it should be a conditional sentence. That means 2 clauses, but there are not. So why is that if? If school, and again, why is it capitalized? Why do we have all these capitals? Well, I'm not going to correct every single one of those because I haven't got time. If schools, so schools in general, so it's an abstract, so it should be a plural. If schools excludes or exclude subjects like art and music, which are primitive are primitive components of human sustainability and economical growth. What you mean economic growth? I've no idea what. Come here. Right, components of human sustainability and economic growth. And I'm not even sure what that means, to be perfectly frank. And where's the second half? So you've got if. So, sorry, a conditional sentence, if something, something, then something, something else. Whether it's 0, first, second, third. But there's no secondary clause. So why is it if? If what? If they exclude art and music, then what? What's the consequence? Okay, so that doesn't work anyway. And I'm not sure what this actually means. Are primitive components of human sustainability and economic growth? Well, that's not very clear at all. We'll have to read on and see where it's going. Firstly, art not only imitates social culture, but also enlightens individual... What does that mean? But also enlightens individual emotions. That essentially, it's meaningless. Which means what? Enlightens? Highlight what? I've no idea. Again, I don't want to be overly rude or harsh, but I have no idea what that means. In the current globalization, in the current era of globalization, people are deprived of what? With overburden of work, what? With people are deprived and overburdened with the pressures of work and meeting commitments. Art is the only hope which rejuvenates the essence of a soul by bright colours, immense intact emotion. Again, this is meaningless. I have no idea what this is trying to say. Secondly, music stimulates brain hormones, which release stress. Nowadays, music become popular across the nations. What? Which particular nations? Which fascinates different parts of the population to exchange and understand diverse culture. That's a very long sentence. Essentially, it's meaningless. No idea. So, music stimulates brain hormones, which releases stress. Nowadays, music has become popular across the nations. Which nations? Which fascinates different parts of the population to exchange and understand the diverse culture. So this is essentially, it's meaningless. No idea what this is talking about. To be perfectly frank, I have no idea what this means. As a result, people acquire investment from different countries, which again, I don't know harsh, but this is meaningless. I have no idea what you are talking about. Then we've got an example here, which is an example of nothing. Right, let's go back. So, what are the key words? Schools. Children. This is about what should be taught in school. You haven't said anything about school. You said if schools exclude what? What you have done here is say art and music are good because, but that's not the question. You are being asked, do you agree that schools should not teach music and art? Instead, they should teach useful, presumably in finding a job, subjects such as IT. That's it. So this is way off topic. So I've no idea what you are talking about, and it's way off topic. It's nothing to do with the actual topic. It's just not. And this example is meaningless. It's an example of what? For example, instruments. Is it banjo or banzo, which isn't known or wasn't known by the Indians when foreign artist Alexander played in India? Amusing sound, the musical. No, so what does that have to do with? Again, I'm going to come. What does that have to do with? Do you agree that schools should not teach music and art at school? They should instead teach IT. That's what you're being asked. This is nothing to do with that question. On the other hand, hands? On the other hand, how many hands do you actually have? If education, right, and again, you have the beginning of a conditional sentence, but it's not a condition. If education's sole purpose is to teach job-orientated subjects like IT, where's the second half? So that is meaningless. First of all, these subjects are required to survive in the competitive world. Monotonous, but what's this got to do with? Again, we have to keep coming back. What does that have to do with? Do you agree that schools should not teach art and music but should teach IT instead? However, monotonous learning, who said anything about it's monotonous? Exaggerates boredom, which eventually leads to depression. Well, I'm sure it does, but what does that have to do with the purpose of education? Most of the employees, and we're talking about children at school, could not be are not able or would not be able to pay attention to work, which means that companies would encounter so what's this got to do with this topic? Nothing whatsoever. Again, I don't want to be overly harsh, but if you write this in the exam, you'll be lucky to get 5. I'm telling you now. Additionally, most of the population embraces technology. Meaningless. What does that... Okay. Now, one sentence here. Right, now, here we have a proper use of a conditional sentence. If we eliminate, we would face. Okay, so why didn't you do that with this one? There's an if clause here, except it's not, and there's an if here. This is what you're supposed to do. If we eliminate, we would face. But how? If we eliminate the learning of art, you mean the teaching of art. From school subjects, what? You mean if we eliminate teaching of art from school or in schools, we would face an excessive shortage. How? How would we face an excessive shortage of art and music? Most of the population, technology, that is meaningless. What does that have to do with the topic? Nothing. In that, media includes pictures, minute documents. Again, what's that have to do with the topic? Nothing. If we eliminate the teaching of art in school, we would say, due to a shortage of art and music, people have or would have to buy. International arts and music, what's that got to... well, yes, okay, I'm not going to say anything more. In conclusion, by leaning, why is it capitalized? Capitals. In conclusion, it's not by learning, by teaching, by learning versatile subjects. What does that mean? What exactly is a versatile subject when it's at home? Versatile subjects. Students can enhance their creative skills, which will be most important, or very important in any profession. Well, it's not talking about students, it's talking about kids. Children and students are not usually the same thing. Students are usually a university. Students can enhance their creative skills, which will be important in any profession. So, to inhibit particular subjects, to focus on essential subjects, implies negative consequence. Oh, dear me. So, nothing to do with, very, 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 very loosely connected to the topic. So, again, I keep saying this, but I'm trying to be as honest as possible. This has nothing to do with the topic. Most of this essay has nothing to do with the actual question or topic as asked. You've got so many problems with grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure, unconnected ideas. So I wouldn't even think about the IELTS test. What I would do, I would concentrate on general English at first, okay? And then when you are at, at least good intermediate, upper intermediate, then you can start thinking about how to properly write an essay, how to analyze the question, how not to go off topic, how to paraphrase, and how an essay actually works. So again, I hope this has helped a little bit. Overly critical, maybe, or maybe not. But again, trying to be as honest as possible. The examiner, he's not even going to bother. He just read this and he give it 5, maybe even 4.5. So I hope that helps a little bit.